Ladies and gentlemen, we're live with a very special guest tonight. The team that puts together the Crestone Energy Fair, specifically the Crestone Energy Fair this year, Crestone Energy Fair, the 33rd annual Crestone Energy Fair, which is, the theme is Reclaim, Self, Village, and Nature. The dates are August 27th to the 28th in Crestone, Colorado. It is going to be back downtown in the town park where you get to frolic amongst the giant ship and other cool stuff, including the trees with tons of shade. And it should be an awesome, just an awesome time. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Diamond.
So from left to right, we have Jay. We got Nick in the middle, and we've got Bodie, Lisa Bodie on the side. Now, they all perform different critical tools. There's one more person here. Nick wants to someone.
Oh no, we got a lot of people here. This is Brett Buchanan. He's going to be doing our food vending. Chelsea, Braden. You know, pop in and say hi, Chelsea. And like really quick.
Okay, so the Crestone Energy Fair is the longest running, let's say, kind of off-grid survival permaculture / human consciousness fair. And it's never really been themed like that for the entire 33 years. Can someone walk me through the history of the Energy Fair?
Okay, so, the Crestone Energy Fair is situated in Crestone, Colorado. Saguache County, the county that we're in, has never had building codes. And so,
I said
the entire county has never had building codes. So as a result, specifically in Crestone, people have come here and built their own houses out of straw bale or earthships or whatever the fuck. And there's been a need to, for people who have done it already, there's been a need to transmit that information and that know-how to future owner builders. And that's where the Crestone Energy Fair was born, was as a place where people could learn and grow and understand how to build their own houses themselves in a place, with information that is very hard to come by. People who build earthships, it's like here, Taos, and where else? There aren't that many other places in the country that build earthships, right? Same thing with those houses.
We have quite a few earthships here in the Pagosa Springs area.
Nice. Okay, cool. But just generally speaking, they're very rare.
Yeah, but based on the process in the last decade of building earthships and using building codes around the country, you could pretty much, there's one going in downtown Philadelphia, Earthship Philadelphia, where you can literally use the building codes to your advantage and build an earthship almost anywhere. And that's the kind of info that the Crestone Energy Fair can bring to the general public.
Totally. Well, and again, remember, this is a 33rd year, right? So this was a very avant-garde way of thinking 30 years ago.
All right, we got to hear what Lisa has to say.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So, but it started with the technologies too. So with water and solar, Kenny Desane and Steve Clark, some of the original founders, they were working a lot with solar. And so they ended up down in a village in Mexico. And so in some of those early years, they were going down to help a village so they could actually get clean drinking water by utilizing the solar technology in their pumps and having that pumped and filtered. And Steve still lives down there now. So, I'm sorry, Kenny lives down there now. We're trying to get Steve to the fair. So, all of the other do-it-yourself pieces, water catchment, your gray and black water systems, just really a lot of that off-grid living too.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know and you've never been to the Crestone Energy Fair, it's usually a multi-part thing, and it's kicked off by it's a very spiritual experience. First of all, you're in Crestone, the surroundings are amazing, and then there's the very first thing is typically a home tour where people who have done this type of regenerative building or biotexture, however you want to call it, are actually inviting you into their house where you can take a tour. Correct?
Well, and what's awesome actually this year is we're going to do all-day tours both Saturday and Sunday. So in the past, we have done a finished home tour on one day and a unfinished or in-process home tour the next day in the morning. but then those attendees could, go to the rest of the fair throughout the day. This year, because we probably had like 60 or 70 attendees each day.
Well, we had 80 total.
80 total, okay.
Double.
We had so many people wanting to see each one of those types of houses. We decided to do duplicate tours each day so that more people could experience those houses. So there's going to be more opportunities to see the houses both Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, Jay, you're sitting there. Why are you involved with the Crestone Energy Fair?
Because people need my help.
So Jay has been involved and has run the Joyful Journey Seed Exchange.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
Yes. So talk about that.
So for the last 4 years, I've been the director of the San Luis Valley Seed Exchange, which happens just up the valley. And food security is all I really care about, food and housing for people. But my background is graphic designer, web developer, so I'm doing those things with the Energy Fair I did last year.
That's so pretty. She does a really great job. Look.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So I'm doing this design, and then I'm just trying to help support this community event, and gonna help find sponsors and get all the signage and posters and program ready for the event. But also I'm really excited because this year they're gonna have a local foods panel. And so I'm gonna help organize that and probably facilitate it, moderate it. And I'm really excited to pull that together with my network of farmers and ranchers and food aggregators in the region.
Now we are kicking off a similar thing here right over the divide, and it seems like this is happening everywhere, especially in small communities. In Pagosa, we've got some nonprofits that showed up here that are doing some type of food coalition. It's like the FS something, but it has not only to do with food security, but equity, because of the problem in our town is like half of the town is poor. They are food insecure. They don't even take the necessary calories in a day. Half of the town, yet the rent here is higher than anywhere in the state. It costs $2,200 to rent a studio apartment.
Good Lord.
So it's very bizarre what's happening in Pagosa Springs. So this coalition is focusing first on the small growers and all this food's available at the farmers market at farms like ours, and trying to aggregate it all together to get it to donate it to our food banks. And we have I think the Roman Catholic Church does a dinner every Wednesday, Loaves and Fishes it's called. And it's pretty cool that they're bringing all these resources. So they're all like-minded people in the sense of growing and community, but they're from two different political sides, and they're coming together in this group, putting aside their differences for food.
Nice.
We need to be working towards it. Like, this is the moment to get growing, get your garden growing, know your farmers, shop locally for your food. And I mean, I think we're all recognizing food prices going up, fuel is up. It's not going to get better, I don't think, in the near future. So I really want to see people in my region being able to eat food, and so supporting all these people that are producing and then encouraging other people is like the work that needs to be done. And if anybody's the slightest bit interested in growing food, man, come to the Energy Fair, come to the next Seed Exchange, and get to know your local farmers and go to your farmers market and volunteer at a community garden, because food is going to be a real thing we're all going to be really glad we got involved in.
Yeah, totally. What's really nice about living in an area like this, we're one of the largest food production valleys in North America. We have access to regional and local food, unlike most places. Our mercantile here in Crestone gets gets a cow a week, right? That they butcher, and then they sell. That's local, grass-fed, no hormones, really amazing meat. And same thing for a lot of their vegetables. We have some amazing resources right in our backyard. And honestly, a lot of cities don't have that type of awareness and ability to have that type of resource so close. But we're definitely very blessed that we have that. And The capacity to grow is something that everyone has. They just need to learn how to do it.
Yeah, and if you can't, go ahead.
Leads you back to water and soil health and people not toxifying their yards and the land. And that's like the conversation that needs to be happening.
Yeah, and on our permaculture farm, we're in a protected valley. They screwed up this river here. They actually the only restored river federally in the United States is the Blanco River. The entire 14-mile section is protected from oil and gas. So all the property owners up and down this river are going to have pristine farmland for as long as they protect it. And what I also want to bring to the table is the fact that we are producing so much food right here at the farm, that if you're our neighbor and you simply change your thought process, like during peak operation here in the next few months, you could come by and get eggs, you could get pork, you could get any type of green like kale, chard, collards, mustards. You can get an abundance of like a dozen different types of summer squash, winter squash, celery. We have huge amounts of herbs and medicinals all here. So you, instead of driving 22 miles to town, to the supermarket and 22 miles back, which probably costs $20 vehicles, you just come to your neighbor's house and you barter or you bring the money there and you don't have to go anywhere.
Right. I talked to our local food bank director this morning, Charisse. They were one of our sponsors last year with La Puente. And one of the food banks here was ransacked this weekend. So it's like, that's showing the desperation of someone a food bank that's open and is free. When they start to get broken into, we're having a problem with food supply and the pricing. So last year with their grant money, instead of measuring the success of how many people do you serve at a food bank, she bought seeds and she's like, the success should be how few people go to a food bank and are growing their own food.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And but that's what the Crestone Energy Fair is all about. It's about a bunch of people donating their time and coming together as a community to share information, to share knowledge, so that we as a village, as a community, can change ourselves by changing the way we think and act.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the focus and maybe some of the speakers, because you guys know, I don't know who's going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Well, as our theme we discussed before is reclaim self-village nature. Last year we went with reconnect self-village nature. After these last 2 years and the wonkiness of our country and what's been going on, we didn't stop doing what we were doing. We worked with the county, we worked with all of the local officials to not shut this event down because the information is so important right now. So last year was about reconnecting. A lot of people were isolating, shutting themselves off, where we just kept we lived our lives and we're still here living them. And so this year it's about reclaiming that power. So many people are giving away their rights, whether it's, we've got it on here, the things we're really looking at, it's like on our health freedom, on how you're stewarding the land. One of the branches off that we've been working on too is another panel I'll put in, since we're doing local foods, is a water conservation and sanitation, because we're looking at why are we still flushing down our toilets, our drinking water? We want alternative sanitation systems and water conservation techniques to be implemented. So we've been working a lot on how people can live and live small in our county. But as far as other our speakers, right now we're accepting applications for presenters on our website, and you will be asked to fill out, your topics and areas of expertise. And so if you're interested in some of these things, such as natural building, the off-grid lifestyles, the energy systems, gardening, rights of nature, our health freedoms, we're accepting applications. Unfortunately, Lydia, our booking coordinator, couldn't make it. We love you, Lydia, tonight. One of our locals, though, is Peter May. He's done a lot of work with the Pinyon Forest, and that's another really cool thing of looking locally. It's like with our pinyon nuts, he's really working with those energetics and with the plants and with the microbes and how we can increase the productivity of those harvests. And he's also, the Tonics. So see Matt Peters at the Seed Exchange.
Yeah, I need to connect with him. We're going to do some podcasts to sell some of his tonics.
Great.
Oh, his stuff is so amazing. It's so dialed in. I mean, you take that stuff when you're sick, and within 2 days, you're totally balanced again. It's fantastic. He is a potion maker. Yep. He is a total alchemist.
And he's worked on this for years too. There's going to be a second talk with that about the beaver and restoration, because that's natural, and the way the ecosystem and the habitat is affected with our waters, and that we used to have a lot more marshland and wetlands here. And once you take out part of an ecosystem, all of the destruction. And they're also showing with all these national huge ass fires going on, where there's beaver habitat, the other animals and other things can come into those areas, and it's actually protecting larger swaths of land when a huge wildfire is coming through, because the way the beavers come up under the soil. So excited to hear more about that. And he used to have the Frosty Beaver drink, so maybe we'll even get another tonic out there.
The Frosty Beaver.
Yes.
So this is a 2-day event. If you want to come to the Crestone Energy Fair, there are opportunities to be a vendor. So if you're selling anything that a hippie crystal or tie dyes or anything like that, I mean, people are there with native drums, jewelry. Some of the best jewelry I've ever bought was at the Crestone Energy Fair. There was one dude there like 4 or 5 years ago. He had all the, the African masks all over the hill there in the park.
Yeah, we'll be back again this year.
Oh, so there you can't miss this fair, because first of all, it's my birthday on Sunday, so that'll be fun. Yeah. But the vendors there are just awesome people, and then the speakers and the community. And if this is focused on food, I had a dream that we would have the first Crestone Energy Fair farmers market.
Ooh, that's awesome. Love that.
Love that.
Plant sale and seed exchange.
Well, we give away free seeds, usually 1 million seeds every seed exchange. So we're going to have free seeds there this year, but let's do a farmer's market where we can exchange eggs and
that would be awesome. Yeah, absolutely. If you bring anything you guys want to sell, I promise you it'll sell.
All right, we'll bring the sign that says Crestone Energy Fair Farmers Market. We'll set up a tent. But anyone who wants to bring, the way we do it here in Pagosa is that if you got a home market and you just have 20 pounds of tomatoes, come bring it to the tent, stand next to your food and sell it.
Yeah, right.
So, it's up to you. Or you can leave it with us and donate it to the fair, and we'll sell it, and then we'll give it back to the Crestone Energy Fair.
So we talked about the local foods panels. We're doing 3 additional panels this year. We talked about the water conservation and sanitation panel. It's really becoming apparent to this community that dealing with your poop is necessary beyond just saying you have to have a septic system, right? There are different ways to deal with how you manage waste and more effective and useful ways. Lisa can talk about that.
No, you're going to talk about the building.
I know. I'm getting there.
But I just did.
Okay, fine. So our next panel group discussion is natural building techniques, and that this year is going to be sponsored and emceed by another YouTube podcaster named the Off Grid Guru, Eric Fickness. Is a good friend of the fairs, and he is really dialed in with the Taos Earthship builders, and has agreed to bring a variety of builders and help us bring a variety of builders in for a really dialed in panel on the intricacies of building not only off grid, but with alternative materials that people don't necessarily know the longevity of, right? There's a lot of controversy in the longevity of straw bin. There's a lot of controversy in the longevity of off-gassing from tires in earthships. There's a lot of studies that have not been done on, 30, 40 years in of how these structures hold up.
Well, there's a lot of really good studies, Nick, on outgassing of tires, buried and unburied. And so I can share you the facts there. And cool. In fact, a tire that does not get exposed to sunlight, there is almost no chemical reaction, and it just sits there. It does nothing. So what's critical is that you cover it in multiple layers and there's no way it's exposed to light, and then you're golden.
Right.
That's
Well,
the key.
we also, straw or Earthships are so difficult to build. I mean, Donovan's a really good example. He's been building his Earthship for at least 5 years.
And straw bales last forever if you know what you're doing and you know the moisture content in your region. So you have to raise the straw off the ground a certain height depending on the amount of annual rain. So if you have 20 inches of rain like we have here, you need to be 36 inches off of grade. That's where the straw begins. So you have to start with a 36-inch stone base. The rest can be straw, and it will last longer than any stick-built house. I mean, just think about it. Probably several hundred years, like an adobe.
Wow.
So it's all where the straw starts. People starting with straw right on the ground, and they just start running it around like a fool. I mean, you're going to have moisture issues, and God knows.
Right.
This is why we let the builders talk about these things. Brett's a builder too.
But not straw.
That's probably.
No, I'm not. Am I saying something wrong? They can chime in or
No. I'm saying that's why we let all those guys talk about this on the building panel, because it really is super interactive of trying to create solutions and looking at cost versus labor versus resource consumption.
It's a lot of
regional, local sourcing.
But I think this year we're actually also going to be building Adobe bricks, right? We're going to have an Adobe brick maker.
Hopefully Adobe brick making, or
demonstrating.
maybe a cordwood, mini cordwood walls and the bottle walls on site.
Cool.
Yeah, so the building demos are going to be pretty cool this year. We're not going to be building a specific structure, but we will be building the elements of the structure to use elsewhere.
Nick Chambers, last year Eric, Mackie, Donovan, a whole group of those guys, Jeff, Paul. I wouldn't leave anybody out, Matt. They've been working on the gasification. So as far as a whole,
that gasifier was crazy. How's it running?
They're like gangbusters on that stuff. I mean, it's been amazing what they've been doing lately. They did actually introduce it to the community recently, and as a potential soon solution for not only dealing with wood chips and things like that, but full garbage mitigation and conversion into gas for use as fuel. It's really spectacular what they're doing.
And if you only burn clean products, then all you get as a waste product is plant food.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be burning actual plastics or anything toxic. Almost 65% of the trash flow that most people don't realize is all compostable, clean, burnable products.
Yep. And actually this year we're also going to have our Crestone artists group is going to be doing a installation. I don't remember if you remember, like 3 years ago, they did an installation when we were in the park.
Yeah.
But this year they're going to be focusing on, all the waste, just like you said, that is not waste, that is reusable in whatever fashion you can. So they're going to be doing an entire installation in the waste that is generated already. Completely the installation will be created completely from waste that they find out at the dump and bring back to town to use.
We might redivert them to our local free box. As an offshoot of the Energy Fair, we started the Energy Exchange to look at our resources. So we've opened our free box, reopened our free box. So small household items, electronics, clothing's coming in, but the amount of overflow and items that are still getting diverted into trash is intense and insane. So we're trying to look at different streams of repurposing.
And just kind of a background, the free box was designed to repurpose stuff that's still usable, right? So clothes, anything that people have that, they may not want anymore, but that doesn't need to go into the dump, goes into the free box. And it's an amazing turnover, even day to day. It's a completely different scene every day.
Wow.
I mean, it is like a magic manifestation place as well. Like truly, you really dial in, oh, I need a drill today. And you go to the free box and a drill just pops up. It's crazy.
Might not be the best drill. But,
yeah, right. But it's there.
It'll take a whole.
Nick Chambers with his gasification too, to go back to that, he's already has successful units out there where he's turning that household waste, like your compost waste and your sanitation waste, into biomethane gas, which is going back for your appliances. Like I think some of his goes into his commercial kitchen or lighting. So
The problem with that biogas is that the amount that a normal family of 4 or 5 can generate in a day is minuscule. It's enough maybe to cook one single meal or to heat a structure for 1 hour. So the whole gasification system where you can go and take what people think is trash and use it as your fuel, that's, I think, a brilliant idea that you can actually then convert that to electricity.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that he only needs
What?
10 more seconds.
No, because we've got people lined up now that want to do it. It's more about scaling now. Nick's versions are a little more commercial, and so we're looking at scaling to that homeowner.
Let's get back to the poop. For those that don't know, in our state and other places, it's legal to to have a composting toilet if you have a septic. So now what that means is that you don't have to be flushing your toilet. You can, instead of going to your bathroom in the morning, go outside to your outhouse, poop in a bucket, and make a humanure pile. You would only want to go ahead.
Here's the problem with that, right? In our region, is most people need an engineered septic system. I was quoted $20,000 to $25,000 to install that septic, so then I can have a compost.
So then she can.
So here's what they just did in our town. They just had a town meeting about that the majority of people are poor. Who can afford a $25,000 engineered septic? So if you make less than $50,000 a year, they defer it. You don't have to get it. You don't have to do it. You just have to buy the septic. Install.
Buy the septic?
You have to get a septic installed by a licensed guy. You don't need the engineering part.
Oh, they'll forego. Okay.
Yeah, that's more than the price of the install. Here, it's like 25 grand. It's something ridiculous to get to have an engineer come out. It's ridiculous. So they're bypassing that cost here.
Okay, we need those contacts for sure, because we're working on this with our county right now, and we're.
Yeah, Jay and Lisa have been integral in helping the county understand that not everyone has $100,000.
Yeah, in fact, that's what they did here, Nick. It's unconstitutional to say you have to pay this amount, which someone's like, that's what I make all year.
Right.
How could I do that?
How could I do that? Right. No. So these guys have been really amazing in helping the county understand that, there needs to be an understanding that this place is for everyone. It's not just for people who can afford it, right? There are generations of people who have lived here who are being sidelined and forced out of the community because of these ridiculous potential laws that are about to be passed. Yeah. So really kudos to Jay and Lisa for bringing up this awareness in the community. And
High five. But listen, what it leads to is that these people are going to have to crap anyway, and they're going to do it improperly and maybe contaminate an area. So exactly it's completely stupid and antithetical to what you're looking for as a community. You want an inclusive community where everyone's respected and everyone has the opportunity to actually maybe build a house on their land. Right. And if you're going to charge 50 grand just to poop, that is boom. It's like mind blowing.
So that's touching on our village and some of our nature, and then kind of getting back, especially into self, is that we're doing a wellness panel. So Kim Engard, who's been our MC for the last few years, she is also Wildwoods Doc. She's going to moderate that panel, and so we're bringing in Elsa. I don't know her last name. She's with our local karate. We're talking to some other people in Santa Fe and other speakers to really come in. What does that really mean for wellness and for yourself? And it ties into, we're adding a new component, which is a healing village. So we're going to take our Creekside Park, completely make it a healing village with your practices, whether it's Tai Chi, your yogas, meditation, gongs, but then also different talks on wellness there and healing modalities. So you might have a massage table set up and be able to go to see different vendors with tinctures in that area. So we're going to have.
So like we said, we're going to have 3 areas, right? So we have the main area in the park that you're used to with our speakers. We're going to have, we have a separate park. It's called the Creekside Park, where there's like a kids playground and stuff like that. That'll have what Lisa was talking about, like the dialed in. I don't speak to me.
Who was? I was looking. I'm just like.
that'll have the dialed in healing modalities. And then we're also going to have in front of the Elephant Cloud performers throughout both days. So we'll have a music stage all day long that'll have performers and entertainers. So people coming will be able to have whatever experience they want to have.
So I can juggle fire, finally.
That's fine. That's
All right. Now, can I juggle fire naked?
Fire band.
It's Crestone. We're fine with that.
It just rained 2 inches. Isn't it raining there? They're going to loot. The fire ban will be down this week.
It's been raining almost every day.
Yeah.
Here. It's amazing.
Yeah,
How is it over
it's
there?
more rain. We've had triple the annual rain for June in 1 week here.
Yeah. It's about the same here.
So things are like growing. It's like a rainforest. Now, I want to say that the mental health piece is critical here because as people come out of their shell after all these years, people are suffering. They're mentally ill. I mean, literally, society has made people pull into this shell of and into their head. And the key here is if we can't get stuff, if things aren't available in the future, new modalities of healing, including herbs, wild medicines that we can just go out in the woods and get. You know, the use of willow, the use of all heal, the use of standard poultices like plantain and all the weeds that are just in the ground here. Like these are things that people can learn about at the fair. And I think we need to be having more discussions about them because people they've been brainwashed.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, the whole point behind the energy fair is that we are capable of living on our own. We are capable of sustaining and being self-sustainable if we try, right? And if we have the knowledge that we need in order to get there.
Well, I think we need to teach them to stop being abused by the media.
By the what?
Stop being abused by our mainstream media. People are being affected mentally.
Who the fuck has a TV anymore anyways? Come on.
None of us do, but people at the energy fair do. You know, we can't say everyone doesn't.
I'm going to introduce you to Chelsea. She's going to talk just a little. She did our tincture bar and that with herbals and talk a little bit about vending.
Okay, cool.
Since we're talking about that, she does the amazing elixir bar.
Yeah. So
Here's Chelsea.
I'm Chelsea, 7-year resident of Crestone. This will be my second year actually working on kind of the core crew, doing some social media posting and things like that.
It's about time.
Right. Right. Yeah. So we've got kind of a media crew. Jay kind of heads up all of our, all of these beautiful, what do you call it?
Design pieces.
Design. Right. So
Leighton's doing our social media posting with Chelsea.
Yep.
Hi, Leighton.
This is our social media team. But last year I also had the mobile elixir bar with the local apothecary owner, Laura Enzer. She owns the Mountain Laurel Apothecary. And so last year we had kind of a really rough setup. We had just a tent and a bar. And this year I have
I remember it was next to the stage. It was pretty nice. And the stuff there looked legit and fresh and delicious and
yeah.
healthy.
Yeah, homemade sodas. We added a lot of Laura's tinctures to our drinks, and we'll do definitely a similar thing. We've got some wild crafted beverages from juniper trees here. I have some lavender syrup that I got locally also as well, the lavender for that. We're definitely kind of boasting the non-alcoholic drinks. I also have snow cones this year because I got a shaved ice trailer. So this year I'll have fresh fruit snow cones.
They're so good.
They're awesome.
Virgin younger vendors.
Cool.
Yeah. So if anybody would like to join as a vendor for the Crestone Energy Fair, a great way to find the sign up for that, an easy way. Is to just go to the CrestoneEnergyFair.org. I also have done a couple of posts on our Instagram. That have links on there too, and we'll continue to do some of those posts. Laura Enzer is our. She owns the Mountain Laurel Apothecary. She is also the vending coordinator this year. So if you would like to get in touch with her email is on there. Food trucks.
Food trucks, we're looking for some.
We're definitely looking for food trucks.
We need more food trucks. So if
Yes.
people are interested, let us know. You'll make tons of money, I promise.
It's awesome. Yes,
Promise
it
we'll
is
make
an
tons of
awesome
money.
event. I wouldn't miss it. If you're a local food truck vendor, I would not miss it. It's definitely worth bringing the truck there.
Cool.
So
Thank you,
yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. All right, so we're going now 35 minutes. I think they're pretty well introduced here. The next time we talk, we should have more specifically maybe talk about some of the people that are coming to speak. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the specific tour. We'll talk about how the tour works.
Okay.
But it sounds like it's almost sold out. I mean, the home tours are pretty much sold out, no?
No, not at all. Because we decided to do 2 rounds both days.
We're doubling.
We're actually quadrupling our capacity.
Okay.
So I guess doubling our capacity.
How does that work?
We're doubling our capacity.
All right.
So anyways, there's plenty of room. It's fine. Just join. It's fine. Last thing we want to talk about though is our sponsorship. So, we really this Diamond, every year we need extra help with our sponsors. We have a significant wish list and our sponsorship perks for being a sponsor. We have a $75,000 fundraising goal. I do this for free every year. And we try to really get people dialed in to being a part of this event in whatever way they can.
Yeah, so let's read that at the cultivator level for $200. If you have a business that somehow is connected to this fair, to renewable resources, to renewable energy, to permaculture, to new building ideas, to alternative building, any of that, to yoga, to self-healing, to alternative medicine, all of the wild edibles, I can go on for hours. If you want to use the event as a tool to get the word out about your business, it doesn't cost much. Now let's just read through like a low level. What do they get? Do they get a shout out? Do they get on the website?
On like a 250 level, you get your logo on the event poster and program, your logo on the website with a live link and a booth space at the event, right? $500, you get those things plus your logo in the Crestone Energy Fair article in the newspaper, as well as a shout out during the festival. For $1,000, you get 5 shout outs during the festival, a reusable banner with your logo on it to take home, and a commercial in one of our YouTube videos, right?
Wow.
At $2,500, we get your commercial on 6 of our videos and an invitation to speak about your product at the event for like a 5 to 10 minute commercial between sets, between acts. And at $5,000 level, you get 10 shout outs at the festival, a commercial included in all of our videos that we produce for the event, as well as a presented by at the beginning of every presentation at the event as well. So we're really trying to honor our sponsors this year with a variety of inclusions, but we can't do this alone. We need help from not only our community but from the greater community that understands what we're doing.
Because it's a completely free event.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind. All this stuff gets put together by professional organizers in a safe and efficient way, and it's free.
Free.
We don't want any access barriers because of financial reasons for anyone in the community. That's why we put everything on YouTube too, on the educational content. But the bigger thing too is we're creating local jobs with all of these professionals from live stream, video editing, social media. These are professional services, and in a small town, there's not a lot of industry. And so this is a lot of times the work for these people. And so we're trying to expand that base because it's really cross-pollinating with all of these other small nonprofits in the community who are struggling with the same issues. They can't support a director, an accountant, a bookkeeper,
Web developer.
So we're starting to help a lot of other organizations now that we have our crew with their projects, but we have to eat too.
And I think there's 700 to 800 people who attend the Energy Fair every year. So there's a huge audience for sponsors to get in front of people.
I have no doubt that this year we'll have over 1,000 people that come. Being back in town always had a lot more of a presence locally. A lot of people didn't like to go out into the valley where it's high winds and dust and shit like that. In town, it's very lush. It's very, it's a lovely spot, and people can lounge and they can have their own experience, whatever that experience is.
Yeah, but the stage, man, come on.
I know that stage was fabulous, wasn't it? I know.
You can come
Very well
down, but you can't come down. We can't forget the fun. The River Arkansas is our headliner on Saturday night.
Yeah,
So there's going to be a party at the off-site event, the in between days.
As of right now, no, but
Okay.
we can always have that conversation later.
We're gonna go do that at Benji's afterwards on Saturday night.
Are we?
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, we talked to him. I got the side deals Nick doesn't know about.
All right, guys, it's been awesome talking to you. Anything else you want to say before we go?
I don't think so.
Check out the 30.
Crestone.org. Go to the site, check everything out. It's going to be updated probably weekly as time goes on. So all the info is there. And if you want to participate, you go to the site under Join Us is how to sign up to be a vendor, a sponsor, a speaker. All this stuff is under Join Us.
One other thing I did want to mention is, so this year, which is new, is we've created an ongoing education series. So people can interact with the fair in a way that they've never been able to in the past. So is our July ongoing education series up on the website?
We should talk about that next time.
So anyways,
Talk about it next
we'll
time.
talk about this, but just so you know, you have ongoing education up there. The one for July is not on there, it will be tomorrow. However, we have a 2-day straw bale immersive building demonstration and workshop middle of July for 2 days. Curtis Scheib, who is a expert building demo, it's not on there, but it will be tomorrow. This is our Earthship build in June and our Hugo Culture one in May.
And then after the straw bale is natural plaster workshop for a day or two, which is
so those will be up there on the website soon. But if you are interested, check that website out in the next couple of days. If you want to dial in with builders who are doing this work, right? Who are building straw bale from the ground up, you can learn with them for a really minimal fee. I think it's like $60 a day or something like that, right? 50 bucks a day. Yeah. So
yeah. And if you want to talk to me, if it's worth your while to sponsor the event, I will be happy to discuss that with you.
Thank you. Thanks, Diamond.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys. Without you, we wouldn't have the Crestone Energy Fair, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay. Say hi to Leah for us. Have a great day.
Be safe. We love you.
Love you too.
You too.